good day. Have you tried to farm premium without having one? That's some real grind right there. Well, not really. It is really simple. It takes around 5 minutes for any player to get. All you have to do is click on the crown, get premium, select any bundle you want, and there you go. You got yourself a premium. Have a good one. That was way too simple. Let's try something else. How about to make a premium but without gaining a single fame point? That means no PvE, no PvP, no crafting, no gathering, and no farming. Obviously, all you're left with are the market, transporting, and any player-related activities such as money dancing or scouting. I decided I don't want to be dependent on the players. For the start, I choose EU server. The European server is at least 1 month old, but I never even tried to play on it. The statistics proves that the server is super popular, so we might even have a solid market by now. Of course, it still may not be as stable as the rest of the servers. So, let's finally launch the game. After character creation, we have to skip the tutorial, otherwise we'll be forced to get fame. However, lack of tutorial means you are not getting any spec, mule, a premium, or even a gold coin. At the moment, #1 task is to acquire base capital, and the best option available is the rough stone and logs. To slightly boost gathering speed, I crafted tools and started a little grinding while heading towards the major city. After I reached the mart lock, I sold all the materials. I needed some kind of mount in order to be able to hold the stuff. That means I need to buy a mount and the Tome of Insight. That required a little more grinding. Luckily, Martlock is one of those cities that offer rough stone within its walls. Few more minutes and I managed to buy myself a Tome of Insight and an ox. Now, with an ox, the gathering speed considerably increased. Is this the solid way to make premium? Well, with the rough stone being 150 silver, and you can get up to 2 rough stones per node. Also, you spend around 10 seconds running between the nodes, and you need 1 minute every 30 to sell the goods. With that knowledge, it is easy to calculate the gain per hour, which will be up to 104,000 silver. It's not that bad, but would require at least 154 hours to get a premium. That's way too much. We need something more time efficient. I looked up runes trying to find anything I could enchant and resell, but no luck. Back from my previous experiences, I remembered that artifact mending was one of the solid ways to make some money. So with hard-earned cash, I bought some of the souls and tried to roll them. And I wasted everything I had. Well, not yet. I tried just one more time. Before going back to zero. Lesson learned. You don't want to try to gamble without proper capital and the research. Now, I gathered some extra stone and started researching the market, trying to find anything that could be used. I placed some Victor for orders to buy and then resell stuff, but that was way too slow and barely any silver. I looked up the artifacts and found an interesting pattern. Seems like some of the artifacts could easily be used to make a quick profit. You see that each material has its quick sell price, so if salvaged artifact is cheaper than specific amount of mats, well, you got yourself a profit. The material can be seen in the artifact description, so is the amount of silver. Just need to multiply it by 0.75. The amount of silver is based on the material and the artifact type. With that being said, instead of gathering stone, now I started buying all the artifacts on the specific price I could find. I even made a basic table for me to use for easier identification. This method didn't require much thought, but was quite grindy, as it still required way too much time looking up the artifacts and buying all of them. However, I made myself a few millions, but that was way too slow. I needed something else. Artifacts was okay way to get a starting balance, but it was still way too slow to make a premium. I looked up another possible methods: dungeon maps. Just like artifacts, dungeon maps can be salvaged to get 75% of items value. Well, that's what I thought. In reality, the salvage value is much higher. If you take one map, you can salvage it for 75%, sure. If you take 5 maps, it is still 75% each. But if at first you craft them into a group map and then salvage, you still get 75%. But now you're left with one extra map, which makes up to 90%. If you do the same actions with 25 maps, you can get one elite map, which can be salvaged into one group and then into one solo, which is 93%. I looked up different markets and found out most of the maps are cheaper than their salvage value, and I used that for extra money. To make even more, I created some buy orders, because maps is a pretty common drop and a lot of people tend to sell them. I thought it would be a nice idea to try and reach one of the outland towns, so I could buy maps there as well. I decided to go there completely naked to not waste a single penny. That was a waste of time. I gave up on the city and placed some more buy orders and started thinking about something else to make money. There is one method I thought about: HC maps. Yes, just like the rest, these can be salvaged to get a tiny amount of silver and royal sigils, which can be sold, upgraded, or even used for crafting. With a tiny table, I could easily spot any HC map that were cheaper than sigils. So I bought them all in packs of 5. If you try to salvage just one or anything but 5, there's a chance to get or not to get the sigils upon salvaging, which was not an option to me. So I bought the maps, salvaged all of them, and then I upgraded the sigils, because I noticed tier 8 ones were much more expensive than tier 6. Not only I made a little bit silver from simply salvaging the maps, I also made some potential silver from making a higher tier sigils. But unlike previous methods I used, this one required to make sell orders, which was not as great since lack of premium had a bigger tax. I did some extra map salvaging and decided to wait and see if I'll have enough money. Unfortunately, not all of the sigils were sold and the prices for them were going down. So I had to replace the orders. When I was doing the same thing in Kalian, I decided to take a peek at the black market to see if any of the royal armors could be sold for decent price. Well, not a big profit, but at least I could sell it immediately. I quickly bought myself required piece of armor and turned it into a royal piece. This didn't require any crafting levels, it didn't reward me any fame. I still was a little short on silver and needed some boost. And this is when I came back to what I tried at the beginning: artifact mending. This time I had plenty of silver and I researched it to make sure I'll make any profit. In order to figure out if the mending is profitable, you need a little bit of analysis. First of all, we need a price of the material you mend. You can easily access it on the market. Now, you also want to find all the artifact prices in the list. Once you get all the prices, find the sum of all the artifacts and then divide by amount of them. Since the chance for each artifact is the same, the result you get will be an average you get per one roll. Now just subtract the cost per roll, which is material multiplied by either 36 or 50, depends on the choice, and you either got positive number, which is profit, or negative, a loss. One extra trick I want to mention is artifact salvaging. Since we already know if the artifact's price is the same or lower, there is no point in sell ordering them, since that's a loss, so you may just salvage them back, get yourself some extra rolls. I spent like 5 million mending, then I placed some sell orders and waited for the next day. I logged into the game only to see that I finally reached the required sum. I finally got a premium without any fame gain throughout the challenge. This was quite an experience. It wasn't perfect as I didn't know what would give me the most. Lack of starting capital did hurt as I could possibly just mend artifacts until I could afford a premium. Do I recommend this to make a premium? Not at all. Not only it's pretty slow, but you don't make any progress towards your character, which may be much more expensive than the silver you gain along the way. If you want to try to farm premium this way, I recommend to get at least 1 or 2 millions before trying any of the market manipulations, as otherwise they will be slow and inefficient. Thanks for watching.